Shalom, King David back again. Happy Feast of Shauvout, Feast of Weeks. Please like, share, subscribe. Click the bell to receive all Almighty's content. Praise the living Creator, higher, forever and ever. Thank Him for the feast days and for guidance and for the law, 613 commandments. I'm going to be reading from some of the 613 commandments. My son is now sleeping. So it'll give me a chance to feed you some more for free. Okay, we are Israelites. I'm from the true Scottish Davidic line, from the Zara branch of Judah. Okay, kicked out by Oliver Cromwell. So I'm going to read some of the law and some of the Torah as well. Okay, this is where I left off from my lesson. So if you haven't saw my lesson for today, go and check out my lesson, people. And then I'm going to continue reading the law. To circumcise the male offspring, Genesis chapter 17 verse 12, Leviticus chapter 12 verse 3, to put zizeks on the corners of clothing, Numbers chapter 15 verse 38. I'm also dyslexic, autistic and ADHD, so please bear with me with my reading. I'll try and present this information to you as best as I can. I'll put some more light as well on. Let's see better. Hope you like the music. To put tzitzits on the corners of clothing, Numbers 15:38. To bind tefillin on the head, Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 8. To bind tefillin on the arm, Deuteronomy 6 verse 8. To affix the mesurah to the doorposts and gates of your house. That's at the top there. Top there, people. I didn't really want to move the camera. I'll try and keep it in this position. It's easier. Praise high for the holy days. This is what I went up in a past life to receive from the living Creator. 613 commandments, but they lied to you, the ones who took us over. They made out it was just 10. No, it was 613 commandments. Okay, the next one. To honour the old and the wise, Leviticus 19 verses 32. To learn Torah and teach it, Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 7. To cleave to those who know him, Deuteronomy 10 verse 20. That every person shall write a scroll of Torah for himself, Deuteronomy chapter 31 verses 19. Back in the day, yeah, when we was in our own kingdoms, yeah, we used to gather every year, yeah, in our communities for a reading of the 630 commandments in the Torah. Understand? That's what we used to do, man. Because we're prisoners of war under Dundar verses 1452, I'm going to bring this information back to you, man. Bring you back in remembrance of the living Creator. To love the stranger, Deuteronomy chapter 10 verses 19. Not to wrong a stranger in speech, Exodus chapter 22 verses 20. Not to wrong the stranger in buying or selling, Exodus chapter 22 verses 20. Not to intermarry with Gentiles, Deuteronomy chapter 7 verses 3. Remember, it's not a colour thing, man. Yeah, this is a blood thing, man. Nation has no colour line. To exact the debt of an alien, Deuteronomy 15 verse 3. To lend to an alien at interest, Deuteronomy 23 verses 21. Praise high for the law, man. Not to violate an oath or swear falsely, Leviticus chapter 19 verse 12. To decide in cases of annulment of vows according to the Torah rules, Numbers 31 verses 2 to 17. Not to break a vow, Numbers 30 verses 3. To swear by his name truly, Deuteronomy chapter 10 verses 20. But you're not going to be able to do that, yeah, if you don't know his name. If you know his name, then you can swear truly by his name. Do you understand? His name is found in Exodus chapter 3 verse 14. This is the name he gave to me in a past life, Moses. I am. Translate that into Paleo Hebrew. The oldest form is higher. Check it out in the Strong's Concordance, and you'll see the original wording before that was there before in the book in our historical document, and it says I am. It's higher. That's his name. Not to delay in fulfilling vows or bringing vowed or free will offerings, Deuteronomy chapter 23 verses 22. Obviously we can't do a lot of the law, some things we can't do. because we're in captivity. But once we're in our own land, yeah, we'll be able to do it, and we'll be able to do everything according to the law, which will please the Creator greatly, by keeping His law. Not to slay an innocent person, Exodus chapter 20 verse 13. Not to kidnap any person of Israel, Exodus chapter 20 verse 13. Not to rob by violence, Leviticus 19 verse 13. Not to do fraud, Leviticus 19:13. Not to covet what belongs to another, Exodus chapter 20 verse 14. Not to crave something that belongs to another, Deuteronomy chapter 5 verse 18. Not to indulge in evil thoughts and sight, Numbers 15:39. Agriculture and animal husbandry. Not to crossbreed cattle of different species, Leviticus 19 verse 19. Not to sow different kinds of seeds together in one field, Leviticus 19:19. Not to eat the fruit of a tree for 3 years from the time it was planted, Leviticus 19:23. This music is beautiful, man. That the fruit of a fruit-bearing tree in the 4th year of their planting shall be sacred like the second tithe, and eaten in Jerusalem. Leviticus 19 verses 24. Let's turn it down while this is on, until the next music comes on. Not to sow grain or herbs in a vineyard, Deuteronomy 22 verses 9. Not to eat the produce of diverse seeds sown in a vineyard, Deuteronomy 22 verses 9. Not to work with beasts of different species yoked together, Deuteronomy 22 verses 10. Remember, this contract was given to the Israelites, okay, and we agreed to it, okay. So when you break it, you have to expect, yeah, the curses that happened, as it states in Deuteronomy, that was applied to me and my people, the Afro-Asiatics, yeah, and that's why we went into slavery, man. But this law was originally given to us, and we had a contract with the living Creator, man. We still do. You understand? We have a second Exodus coming up, man. Proverbs 12 verse 10. Teaches that a righteous man knows the soul of his animals. Josephus in Antiquities of the Jews. Interesting. Let's continue reading, people. Chapter 3. Not the king. This is referring to our king. Not to curse a ruler, that is the king or the head of the college in the land of Israel. Exodus chapter 22 verses 23. Remember, in the past life, yeah, I was, and I am the Prester John, the priest king, yeah, that the Portuguese were searching for 500 years, and I have a plaque up, man. Prester John, the ruler of the 3 Indias, man, okay, in the Americas, man. And we had access to the stargates and different areas and different realms and that, man. Do you understand? Like, it wasn't just what you see before you, okay, people. There's a lot more to it. And also, Tartaria, we built it, man. They destroyed it, man. Mud floods did happen, and the serpent seed infiltrated our societies. Okay, remember, Lucifer slept with Eve, and Cain was the first super serpent seed, reptilian, lizard, shapeshifter, whatever you want to call. But best believe it's all real. Giants are real. The seed of giants are real. They're real. It's all real, man. They try to make out to you as a lie. Just like they tried to make out that the law was not, is done away with. They tried to make out that JC, Lucifer, fulfilled the law. You understand? No, it's incorrect, man. The Most High don't deal with human sacrifices, man. You understand? To appoint a king, it says, Deuteronomy 17:15. It's in the law to appoint a king, and especially if it's the king who the Most High wants you to choose. The Melchizedek, man. Do you understand? His name, it will be, the Lord is my righteousness. Yeah, my name is Zedekiah, man. Do you understand? That's my name. That fits prophecy. Do you understand? That's me, man. From the tribe of Judah, from the Davidic line, man. From Scotland, McKinley and Campbell. Okay, Red Branch Knights, man. Me and my people. The Iberians, man. Not to appoint as a ruler over Israel one who comes from non-Israelites. So anybody from the Hanoverian dynasty, anyone family of theirs that are sat on our thrones, they should not be sat on our thrones, okay, because they don't belong to you. And it states in our law that no one from another nation can be sat on our thrones, okay. That's what the living Creator says. So what he says has to go, man. That's in Deuteronomy chapter 17:15, not to appoint a ruler as ruler over Israel one who comes from a non-Israelite. Okay. Deuteronomy 17:15, that the king shall not acquire an excessive number of horses. Deuteronomy 17:16, that the king shall not take an excessive number of wives. Deuteronomy 17:17. So everything in moderation. Do you understand, people? David in the past life had 8 wives and 10 concubines, man. You understand? Like, it's within our law, man. That he shall not culminate an excessive quantity of gold and silver. Deuteronomy 17:17. That the king shall write a scroll of the Torah for himself, in addition to the one that every person should write, so that he writes 2 scrolls. Deuteronomy 17:18. And I've done that, man. I've written a scroll, man. To know that higher exists. Exodus chapter 20 verse 2. Deuteronomy chapter 5 verse 6. Not to entertain the idea that any other power but the eternal. Exodus chapter 20 verse 3. So Lucifer, the morning star, that enrages the living creator. It states in our law, we as Israelites must follow the living creator higher. Okay, we have a contract with him. Not to blaspheme. Exodus chapter 22 verse 27, the penalty of which is death. Leviticus 24 verse 16, to hallow his name, his name. Leviticus 22 verses 32, you know his name now, man. Do you understand? It's higher. To know that higher is one and a complete unity. So it's one and complete unity, do you understand? No JC there, man. Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 4, to love higher. Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 5, to fear him reverently. Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 13 and Deuteronomy chapter 10 verse 20, not to put the word of higher to the test. Do not put it to the test, man. Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 16, to imitate his good and upright ways. We have to imitate the Most High's ways. Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 9. Remember, this is given to Israel, this law, man. That he shall not eat fresh grapes. This is a Nazarite vow, okay? If you take a Nazarite vow, this is referring to you now, okay? So then, that a Nazarite shall not drink wine or anything mixed with wine, which tastes like wine, and even if the wine or the mixture has turned sour, it is prohibited to him. Numbers chapter 6 verse 3. That he shall not eat fresh grapes. Numbers 6 verse 3. That he shall not eat dried grapes, raisins. Numbers 6 verse 3. That he shall not eat the kernels of the grapes. Numbers 6 verse 4, that he shall not eat the skins of the grapes. Numbers 6 verse 4, that the Nazarite shall permit his hair to grow. Numbers 6 verse 5, that the Nazarite shall not cut his hair. Numbers 6 verse 5, that he shall not enter any coveted structure where there is a dead body. Numbers 6 verse 6, that a Nazarite shall not defile himself or any dead person by being in the presence of the corpse. Numbers 6 verse 7, that the Nazarite shall shave his hair when he brings his offerings at the completion of the period of his Nazariteship, or within that period if he has become defiled. Numbers chapter 6 verses 9. These are our ways, our ancient ways, man. Property and property rights, man. Not to sell a field in the land of Israel in perpetuity. Leviticus chapter 25 verses 23. Not to change the character of the open land about the cities of the Levites or their fields. Not to sell it in perpetuity, but it may be redeemed at any time. Leviticus 25 verse 34. That houses sold within a walled city may be redeemed within a year. Leviticus chapter 25 verses 29. Not to remove landmarks, property boundaries. Deuteronomy chapter 19 verses 14. Not to swear falsely in denial of another's property rights. Leviticus chapter 19 verse 11. Not to, put it this way, not to deny falsely another's property rights. Leviticus 19:11, done that one. Never to settle in the land of Egypt, that's captivity. Deuteronomy chapter 7 verses 16. Not to steal personal property. Leviticus 19 verse 11. To restore that which was which one took by robbery, Leviticus chapter 5 verse 23. To return lost property, Deuteronomy chapter 22 verse 1. Not to pretend not to have seen lost property, to avoid the obligation to return it, Deuteronomy chapter 22 verses 3. The poor and unfortunate. Poor and unfortunate. Not to afflict an orphan or widow, Exodus chapter 22 verses 21. To cause pain or suffering. But I do in this society, man. Not to reap the entire field, Leviticus 19 verse 9. Leviticus 23 verses 22. To leave the unreaped corner of the field or orchard for the poor, Leviticus 19 verses 9. Not to gather the gleanings, the ears that have fallen to the ground while reaping, Leviticus 19 verse 9. To leave the gleanings for the poor, Leviticus 19:9. Not to gather Olath and the imperfect clusters of the vineyard, Leviticus 19 verse 10. To leave Oleth the imperfect clusters of the vineyard for the poor, Leviticus 19:10. Deuteronomy chapter 24 verses 21. Not to gather the perfect grapes that have fallen to the ground, Leviticus 19:10. To leave Paret the single grapes of the vineyard for the poor, Leviticus 19:10. Not to return to take a forgotten sheaf, Deuteronomy chapter 24 verse 19 applies to all fruit trees, Deuteronomy 24 verses 20. To leave the forgotten sheaves for the poor, Deuteronomy chapter 24 verses 19 to 20. Not to refrain from maintaining a poor man and giving him what he needs, Deuteronomy chapter 15 verse 7. To give charity according to one's means, Deuteronomy chapter 15 verse 11. The first commandment. That's not the one. Next one, part 2 coming up, people.